On a craggy, storm-lashed coast, where the sea whispers secrets to the shore, stood a tall, lonely lighthouse. Its beam was the only star for sailors navigating the treacherous waters at night. And in this lighthouse lived a man named Old Silas, the keeper, and his dearest companion, a small but mighty ginger cat named Beacon. Beacon wasn't just any cat. Ooh, he was born in the lantern room, with the scent of salt and sea foam in his fur. He knew the rhythm of the waves, the cry of the gulls, and the steady, comforting pulse of the great light. Every evening, he would sit on the windowsill, watching Silas climb the winding stairs to light the lamp, his purr a quiet hum against the growing darkness. One night, a terrible storm rolled in from the horizon. The wind howled like a hungry wolf, and rain hammered against the thick glass of the lantern room. The sea churned, throwing massive waves against the lighthouse's stone base. It was a night when ships needed the light most, a night when even a moment of darkness could mean disaster. Up in the lantern room, Old Silas felt a sudden, sharp pain in his chest. He gasped, clutching his heart, and slumped into his chair, the world fading into a dizzying blur. The fire in the great lamp, which he had just been about to tend, began to flicker and dim. Its powerful beam weakened, faltering against the raging storm. Down below, Beacon felt the change instantly. The rhythmic pulse of light that lulled him to sleep each night was gone. A deep unease settled in his chest. He darted up the winding staircase, his little paws barely making a sound against the stone. He found Silas unconscious, and the great lamp was sputtering, its light almost extinguished. Outside, a ship carrying families returning home was being tossed mercilessly by the waves. The captain, straining his eyes, could barely make out the coastline. "Where's the light? I've lost the lighthouse beam," he cried, his voice tight with fear. The ship was drifting dangerously close to the jagged rocks hidden beneath the churning water. Beacon looked from his beloved keeper to the dying light, and then out the window at the storm. A fierce determination ignited in his small body. He knew what he had to do. He had watched Silas work the lamp 1,000 times. He leaped onto the table, his claws finding purchase on the wooden surface. He saw the small can of oil and the long wick that fed the flame. With all his might, he nudged the oil can with his head, tipping it just enough for a trickle of fuel to spill onto the wick. But that wasn't enough. The flame was still too low. He looked at the bellows, the tool Silas used to stoke the fire and make it roar to life. It was too heavy for him to pump. Thinking fast, he jumped onto the lever that rotated the entire lamp. Using his body weight, he pushed down, again and again, rocking the giant mechanism. The movement fanned the embers, and with the fresh oil, the flame flickered, too, then grew, then roared back to its full, brilliant glory. The powerful beam once again cut through the storm, sweeping across the dark, angry sea. Aboard the ship, a cheer erupted from the deck. There it is. The light. We're saved. The captain expertly steered the vessel away from the rocks, guided by the steady, brilliant beam. He didn't know it, but his savior was a small ginger cat. Now, perched proudly beside the glowing lamp, his silhouette a tiny guardian in the storm. When the sun finally rose, the storm had passed. The rescue crew arrived to find Silas recovering and the lamp still burning brightly. No one could explain how the light had stayed on, but Silas knew. He looked at his little companion, now curled up and purring on his lap, and smiled. Bacon wasn't just the lighthouse cat. He was the keeper of the light, a tiny hero with the heart of a lion. Thanks for watching our story today.